Yeah, I just love the 4 wishes in the main. I'm not even sure, like, all these static prisons even make a lot of sense. Do you ever need a second Grapeshot? Probably not. I know. Sad Gigantha. Wait a second, Veil. Storm and Titan or whatever the opposite of a pet deck is for me. What is the opposite of a pet deck? What's the opposite of a pet? I don't know.
The opposite of a pet is a rodent. Rat.
That's not opposite. That's just a different thing.
I don't think it's a rodent, pest, pet, pest. I think they're pretty much opposites. Rats.
Agreed.
You have to play rats.
I agree to disagree. Okay, so go Ritual, Ral, Ritual, 3 mana, DRC. Yeah, I'm just gonna go for it here. Hey, is this game pay to win? Looking for a good card game. I would call it pay to compete. When you're playing on Magic Online, when you're playing on Arena, I guess maybe more so Magic Online. Everybody is playing with a pretty similar card pool. Draw a card. Was I just right all along? Draw a card. Draw a card. Well, I was right all along. That feels good. Sincerely have no idea how anyone ever cut DRC from the stack. I guess I should be responding to my triggers, though. So we go Ritual, respond with the Ritual. Yeah, I don't know. I really just sincerely don't know how you don't play DRC in the archetype. It's also like, this isn't like it's new tech. It's just like, it's exactly how it was when Image 3 released, and then just everyone decided, like, it felt like very vibe based that DRC wasn't it. I'm just getting enough Storm to wish for Grapeshot. DRC and paper makes Storm very hard to track. I guess I could be confused why that be the case. Do you want to elaborate? Okay, so up against Eldrazi. I don't think they have Trinispheres in the board at the moment. Spike really saw 2 Storm players lose. Storm has just been losing consistently, like, the entire time. for months and months and months. Yeah, just like consigns and then Karn targets. Alright, let's just run it back. But I don't know, it's like, I just think, I've been saying that they play too many lands and Striker Rich is bad and Artist Talent's bad for like 8 months now. Back to nature, I'm missing something. It's a wish target that can kill multiple Leyline of the Voids. I think you mulligan this one. I think you keep this one. Blood Moon seems good. Well, you could just wish for it. Touché. Storm players, be so fucking real. Did you even test Dragon Rage's Channeler ever? Draw a card. Draw a card. Okay, storm count not quite high enough for Ral yet. Storm count's 8, but I played 2 creatures. I guess that's just enough, huh? Yeah, so we'll flip. Draw a card. Draw a card. Just way better than Artist Talent would have been, obviously. Obviously way better than Artist Talent. Still obviously way better than Strike It Rich. Like, you would have run out of cards in hands that game. No, Looting One is not as good as Surveil again because you run out of cards in hand. You would have run out of cards very likely that game. And also, one less mana is also, like, incredibly important. Wait, how? Okay, so because your Wrenn's resolving and you're doing all this, like, we had one card in our hand there, right? If we ever need to cast that card, which I think we would have in that game, you're done looting because all of our cards are in exile, not in our hand. Seems fine to keep. But the Channeler never runs into that issue. You just always have, you just always get to Surveil. Okay, round 3 of the challenge is about to start. I do want to beat up on Boros Energy, though. So round 4 is about to start. I think I just cast this and pass. Needed a DRC. Guess that worked out. Hopefully they don't have another one somehow. Seems pretty unlikely. Yeah, it doesn't, they kept the animations in, so it seems like I was wrong about that causing the lag. Plays a Bombardment. There's a Past in Flames. I think we thinned the deck a bit here. Cast a Glimpse. Come on, big money. Okay, there's a Ritual and another Glimpse. So is it better to Past in Flames? I can go Past in Flames, 3 mana, Impulse. That sees 4 cards versus this seeing 3. We'd also end up wishing for Grapeshot at the end, potentially. Also, if we cast this Glimpse, then Manamorphose is in and out. We have to hit a Ritual off of it. But also, if we hit a Ritual, the game's pretty deterministic. Oh my gosh, I clicked the wrong card. Oh, dang it. All right, let's just focus on the challenge then. Also, most people don't commit to learning it to the level of Canister 2, so you just... The overall win rate is just lower than it is in the hands of like the top tier experts. Unfortunately, I think... No, if I cycled Wraith, I still wouldn't have hit the land. I would have hit Mox Opal into Cookbook. The land was 1 card deeper. Would Summoner's Pact be the target card? I think the ban would obviously be Amulet of Vigor. It's just a 1 mana card that regularly makes like 20, 10, 30 mana in a turn. It's like, it makes way too much mana for 1 mana, I think, very simply. And you also have Splunking now, so you can still play the deck and like Canister just turn 3 kill with Splunking. I think the ban is like obviously Amulet. But and probably should have been Amulet over Summer Bloom all those years ago. The deck also, it literally has no bad matchups right now, which is a problem. And it's very difficult to play like main deck Blood Moons or Maguses or anything like that, because that's just not good against the rest of the field besides Eldrazi. It's not so bad against Breach, but it's also not so good against Breach. Isn't that a sign of a deck being good and balanced? If a monkey can pilot it to trophy, it's too strong. What if expert doing okay? No, it's just very different. Like, this is not a sign of Titan being good and balanced. It's the opposite. It's like in the hands of Canister, Dom, House of Mana, all these people, the Titan is just bannable level. It's just oppressive win rates. Like, it is. There's not a single weak matchup in the format against it, I think. But in the hands of the average player keeps the win rate down to a non-bannable level. It's just different. Frog is bad matchup. I actually don't even think Frog is a bad matchup, if I'm gonna be quite honest. Frog is bad matchup. Belcher's bad matchup. Breach is even. What the fuck? So Frog and Belcher, like, not popular decks in the format. They're not tier 1 decks at the moment. Titan is favored against Breach. It's not a huge favorite, but it is a favorite. And I can't deal with the Titan defenders today. Thank you. Please go with your propaganda elsewhere. See you Monday. I'm so over it. I can't with the propaganda. Frog, a deck no one plays because it's really poor position, is a bad matchup. I even would say that... I would even say it's just not a bad matchup if you... oh my gosh. Tilt accidental flip Row. Okay, so another Row. So I can go Ruby for 2, Row for 1, Awakening for 1, which is the same as not casting the Ruby. Try to win the flip. Sorry about that. Okay, win the flip. Okay, didn't hit a Ritual, so we are cooked. Is it fair to say the deck is too good and shouldn't be allowed to stand because of its raw power, even though the learning curve is so high? Yeah, I think so. I genuinely don't think it's fair that, like, if you know, it's nice to reward players for being experts of a deck. I get it. It's nice to feel like you can play a deck and play it consistently and do well. Titan is bannable levels of broken if you're one of the top players of it. It's been like this for a long time. It's currently better positioned than it usually is, but it just has been like this a new time. And I don't think it's fair that you get to play a bannable level deck. If you know, just because it's hard to play. If you have a different philosophy, that's fine. The gameplay is also really bad, and I'm just so tired of it. Oh, sorry. And I'm also just kind of tilt not playing very well here either. Gonna win anyways. I need to put the Past in Flames in the yard. I thought it was off the glimpse. MTG is not chess. I don't know what you're trying to say. I agree that Magic the Gathering is not chess. Do you think banning Ammo will kill the deck completely? I don't think so. I think the deck survives with Spelunking. I like also this is like there's just so many levels to it. Like Amulet is a broken card. It makes more mana than any card on the modern ban list. It's like it is unbelievable how broken Amulet of Vigor is. It just completely breaks the game. So like that's one level of it, and then the deck has like basically no poor matchups in the metagame at the moment, which is a problem, and it's a very difficult deck to attack, which is another problem. Obviously not the biggest thing we've seen this before, but it's just the gameplay is so bad. The deck is broken. It has no bad matchups. Like what? I'm just so tired of it. Putting it right to not to concede. I'm just tilt storming off here. So you're saying Outburst should be brought back, Cope. I don't know who you're responding to. People get so weird about like Titan too, because they own the deck. They like to play the deck. This is also like a weirdly huge part of it is like it's not even like a meme anymore that people just propaganda about the deck. It's kind of getting ridiculous, I think. It's getting ridiculous. I think it's very hard for like any of my arguments to like even just not be like true here, but I think Spelunky needs to go. It's definitely Amulet. It's been Amulet. Amulet is broken. The card is broken. It's better than most cards on the modern ban list. It's better than most cards on the modern ban list. It's crazy. Your point is Microsoft, just because the deck is very hard to play doesn't excuse it for being ban worthy. I agree. And it's just tough, like as someone who tries to play at like a really high level, and I like to play a lot of different decks. I don't know, it's just tough. Game 2, he won with no amulets. This isn't a good argument though. Just because our opponent won with no amulets doesn't mean that Amulet isn't the most broken card in the deck. In fact, you saying ban Spelunking is just disingenuous, almost crazy propaganda, it feels. You know Amulet is much better than Spelunking. I know Amulet is much better than Spelunking. Everyone knows it's much better than Spelunking. You only want to ban Spelunking instead because because Amulet is the broken card that you want to play with. And it's like banning around Mishra's Workshop in Vintage, where Workshop is this staple of the format. It's also broken. It probably should have been restricted a long time ago, and they don't restrict it because of format identity. It's not really much different than that, but this is not a good philosophy to have in Modern. Okay, Surgical is a good card to try to play around here. And what is just a win more card though? Spike, I think you're right. It's sort of keep playing Amulet Titan. I know. I like literally anybody I think who's arguing against me, they just play Amulet Titan, and I, just let me rage without being without propaganding to me, please. Thank you, Envoy, with the 4 months. All right, looking for a Ruby. All right, a little bit weaker to surgical. I do think we have to graveyard here. Another ritual, so I guess I have to do math. So 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can go for a Past in Flames here. I guess that's fine. And if they have a surgical, we go to game 3. Have I played Amulet in a tournament or Chally? I don't think so. This is like also like what I like to do in Magic. I guess sorry, I should have spliced. What I like to do in Magic and what I do on this channel is I like to explicitly brew and try to innovate and push the limits. I'm not out here grinding win rate. That's not what I'm interested in. If that's something you are interested in, there's nothing wrong with that. That is a big part of Magic. It's not what I like to do. I like to brew and try a lot of different stuff. And so, I guess I don't know where I'm not really going anywhere with this, but I'm not very interested in playing Amulet. I guess is where I'm going. It's just that's not something that I'm gonna just do here. Okay, so if I keep this on top, I can go Ritual. Up to 5. Wrenn's Resolve down to 3. Ral into Manamorphose. Yeah. I think it's fine. Oh, Manamorphose into Ral. Sorry, that is way better. I'm definitely not playing that well. I'm pretty tilted. Genuine question. I know saying the card is Amulet. What about Karoo lands going? So this philosophy I think is sincerely ridiculous too. This like, okay, Amulet of Vigor is banned. So instead of banning that, let's ban 10 Karoo lands and a Lotus Field. It's like what the hell are we talking about? It's so silly to like the idea I think of banning 10 cards to instead of banning 1. It doesn't make any sense. Like I'm not very interested in any mental gymnastics to keep the broken card legal. It's never. I don't think it's ever been a good philosophy to keep a card that people like legal despite it being broken. And this would be my opinion here. I'm not going to be convinced. How many Splunking do they play that'd be a reasonable ban? I think Splunking is just... I honestly think the deck is just kind of nice if it's just Splunking legal. I think it actually is still playable and is still interesting and is just a lot more reasonable. Do we genuinely believe Titan deck is bannable when people play little focused hate for it? When blue-black main deck, the Harbinger for the matchup, it was 20-80 for Titan. So this is an interesting thing to talk about too. Hold on, let me win the game real quick. Yes, I do genuinely believe that it's bannable is one. I think this is also a silly, maybe not silly, but a poor argument overall. But let me get into it after I win this game. I can tell you why I think it's a poor argument. So one, I guess I'll just do this quickly. So one, I think it's a poor argument because Titan is a very difficult deck to hate out in general. It's like one huge problem with the archetype is that there are kind of like specifically main deck Harbinger with counterspells is a very good formula against it because Harbinger is too slow by itself. It is just not reliable. If you lose the die roll, you're going to be turn 3 killed, and you are also going to be you're gonna be turn 3 combo killed, and you're going to be too slow in game 3. Like Magus and Harbinger are too slow in the draw a huge percentage of the time. So this is one problem. So one deck that has a very specific formula of Counterspell into Magus being good against Titan, I don't think is a very good argument for it, especially when Titan has, you know, plenty of plans against this. Has plenty of ways to answer the Harbinger, and like it's not even just the complete knockout. This is one problem. And then expanding on that, a big problem is that Magus and Harbinger are the two cards that are really good against an Ashiok. These cards are very fringe in the decks that can play it. It's like it's bad when there's a really unfun interactive combo deck that where there doesn't exist a good sideboard card that every deck can play. Damping Sphere is just not even good against Titan. It's so easy for them to Beseiju it. It's unreal. If Beseiju wasn't legal, Damping Sphere would be that card, but Beseiju being legal makes it so bad. Like Blood Moon isn't even very good against it either because of all these Beseijus. So it is really bad for the format when you have a hyper uninteractive combo deck that's super fast, that you can't really race consistently with aggro decks, and not every deck can sideboard for it. That is bad for the format. Breach is kind of a good example of it's kind of a nice top deck to exist because every deck can play Grafdigger's Cage is you know a good way to put it potentially. Another thing too is if Frog is a why I think this is a poor argument. If Frog is a poorly positioned deck, then there's just like not much you can do. There's not much you can do for Titan being legal, right? Where if you're gonna play Dimir Frog with main deck Harbinger right now, your win rate is gonna be garbage. So to say people aren't playing main deck Harbinger with Frog, your win rate is going to be so bad because Amulet Titan just doesn't have a big enough percentage of the field for you to employ this game plan right now. Could that change? Very unlikely because Amulet basically never sees more than 5% play. You are going to get tromped, smashed. I don't know what tromped is. You are going to get destroyed by the black-white Ketchamos decks all day, every day with Dimir Frog. And this is a really big problem, is that very specific metagames can be kind of hostile to Titan. But it's just I think a weak argument to say like players aren't playing enough hate, because like you just have to have Frog be well positioned, which seems incredibly difficult for that to happen right now. You have to have Merfolk be well positioned, which seems incredibly difficult for that to happen right now. And it's like that's the kind of the only time, you know. Opponent says back at it again. I don't know. I do play a lot of Magic Online. I do think the just kill Titan 5-head gamers need to also cool it a bit, because I've just had multiple games this week where I've killed 2 Titans on the same turn and still lost. You know what I mean? Okay, we picked a good league to play Storm here. Thank you, Grant, for the 34 months coming in mid-rant here. Is there a reason you're running your mono red list over one of the 2-color lists? I guess I don't know what 2-color decks you're talking about. I'm assuming you're talking about our Monument deck we're playing in the challenge. I built this deck last week. I've been 11-4 with it. I haven't seen any of the 2-color lists around. And maybe you're talking about we played a Dimir build. I think the Dimir build is much worse. But yeah, I didn't even know people were playing red X versions of this deck. Oh, the Storm deck? Oh, I have 3 colors in this deck. I'm not sure where the confusion's coming from here, but yeah, we're playing red and white in the board. So it didn't play around World Breaker so well. Wonder what they get here. They get another copy of World Breaker, so we're gonna have to play our Ral out, I guess. Yeah, I know the Storm deck's not on Moxfield. I'm not like super like comfy with the list at the moment because it's been so long, so I don't really want to post it right now. But I'll try to. I think after we finish this league, we'll like hammer it out and put it on the Moxfield. think it's ironic the one time Wizards hit the deck. Yeah, I actually do always forget that too, that a big part of the reason why Summer Bloom is banned instead of Amulet is because someone was cheating with Summer Bloom. That's kind of some good lore. Alright, hopefully we don't lose too many flips. Alright, I think have I lost all of them so far? Now, I think I want to Impulse before casting these Manamorphoses. Although I could double Manamorphose in response here. And then if any of these flip the Ral, then we get to Ultimate it. So I guess that's going to be a bit better than digging for DRC. Right, so yeah, Storm count is 6. This should have 8 loyalty. Impulse into another Ral and a Past in Flames. It's a lot of rituals to cast without paying their cost here. Never seen that. Yeah, we don't need to play the other Ral out. We'll just win the game instead. Yeah, we're 3-1 in the challenge. Doing pretty good. Yeah, we're just jamming Storm in some leagues. Kind of trying to make a little bit of a statement that I do just think DRC has been the best option the whole time. And DRC has been like phenomenally good. Like immediately phenomenally good, just like it was 8 months ago, despite it seeming like no one ever picked it up besides me. Like, also, I think that just the stock list apparently played 20 lands, which I just do think is too many. And DRC is just, it's like one, it just is so insanely good in the deck. It is what it is. With 4 DRC in the main, would they consider Breach of the main? No. You would not. Is the short answer, I guess. All right, this hand needs some help. It's hard to mulligan double Ruby, 2 lands. Nice to have the glimpse in the board here. Maybe an unstable Amulet. I'm not the biggest Amulet fan anymore. Did I cut Artist Talent? I have been a long-time hater of Artist Talent in Storm. I think it's bad in the deck. I think it's clearly worse than Dragon Rage's Channeler. And what's frustrating to me about this whole like Storm arc is that the deck gets out in MH3. I build a deck with DRC like within like 3 or 4 days. We have like this list basically. And, you know, there's all the contributions. Like I wasn't as high on Wish as I should have been, but like we added Wish and like DRC is just so consistently good. Everyone cuts it for Strike It Rich. I think I am keeping it here. Every Storm pilot cuts it for Strike It Rich, and I feel like that was a big mistake when that happened. And now the Storm players have finally identified that Strike It Rich seems to be suboptimal. And instead of playing Channeler, they're playing Artist Talent. And I think it's like so clear that DRC is better than Artist Talent. It's 1 less mana. Surveil is better than Rummage. And it also comes on a 3/3 flying body, which is relevant a nice percentage at the time. So this is my take. Okay, so we can't let them untap with the Karn. So I guess I'm going to go Wish for Static Prison. Jack Unicorn for the 22 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Appreciate you. So I'm probably going to go just DRC into Valakut Awakening here. See what we draw, of course. I think it's a word where you switch the sideboard Veils for some orange chant, better for the Breach matchup. Yeah, you could do that. For the most part, I think I'm okay just trying to race Breach. That would be my like just base level approach, but it could be fine to do that. All right, so we'll pay, of course. So we go Channeler, Valakut Awakening. I get to see 5 cards. Looking for a combo here. I guess instead, let's go Channeler, Wrenn's Resolve. I might end up wishing for a Blood Moon too. I'm gonna graveyard this since we need mana so badly. There's mana, which we need so badly. So I can keep this on top, go Ruby Medallion down to 2 mana. Oh, sorry, this is top. All right, I'm going to keep it in the deck, but then shuffle it away with Arid Mesa then. How good is Blood Moon here? Doesn't seem that good. I don't know if we can go for a big Empty the Warrens. I'm just going to start off with a Ruby Medallion here, which maybe will cut me off of Empty. We're 3-1 in the challenge. No drama so far. Yeah, let's just put back the Past in Flames. Drill 2. Nice. So I do have a Glimpse in the board I could wish for and try to keep going. Or I could just get Empty the Warrens, maybe. One nice thing is we can see if there's a helpful card on the top of our library. Not a helpful card at the moment. Obviously, they've got a Tormod's Crypt, so we don't want to go for the Graveyard Hate. How good is 8? Yeah, the Goblins feel like they're a little short here, right? Let's go for the Glimpse. You know, it's basically 4 looks with the DRC. Gonna Graveyard this, I think, kind of close. Okay, we hit a Past in Flames, a Reckless Impulse. Obviously, the Past in Flames, not very good at the moment. This is just a draw 1, so we'll Graveyard that one. We find another Wish, and unfortunately, we're 1 mana short of Wish for Empty now. Yeah, Galvanic Relay could be good. Maybe over like the second Veil. All right, let's go to game 3. A Mass Hysteria effect. We used to have like Alchemist Gambit, which you take an extra turn and you lose the game the next turn. Yeah, we could wish for Blood Moon, but I'm more interested in conceding so we can finish this match before round 5 of the challenge starts. I don't need a second Channeler. Wouldn't be bad. What was wrong with Empty the Warrens? We were 1 mana short. It's 1 mana to wish, so we have 1 mana floating, and Empty costs 2. I think we have to just play the Row. Kind of weak to a K command. Oh, and the first wish? Well, I wasn't sure if it was going to be a game-winning line. I would have put 18 Goblins into play. My opponent was at 19 life with a blocker. I feel like I could be losing to Karn. It could be maybe losing to Emrakul if I took that line. So it seemed to me like I was interested in not going for it, but and like especially because with the DRC, the Glimpse basically sees 4 cards. Like it seemed to me like we had enough chance to win off the Glimpse instead. Keep that one. gonna graveyard that. I think we're likely enough to find a land over the course of this turn that we should be graveyarding lands. There we go. So this will be my fourth non-creature spell for Ral. Yeah, we're just doing some storm in between rounds since I'm just kind of going a little crazy still that no one plays DRC, so I wanted to play some DRC. I think I keep it resolve here. Finding another one's a little bit weird. Drawing towards more mana. Also, we can win a flip and ultimate the Ral, of course. So pretty likely to get to do that. Would you ever consider one breach of the sideboard? There is a breach of the sideboard. I do encourage y'all to take a look at what's in the deck before asking for stuff. But of course, no big deal. I'm sure it's easy to miss. Okay. Now we're hoping to win the flip. Okay, we lost several flips in a row here to lose. On to round 5 of the challenge. Storm does find a way to lose, I guess, still. Yeah, the list isn't on Moxfield. Right. Okay, fair. Fair. I forgot I didn't post it on Moxfield yet.